What's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Reimagining Worship. Yo, I am super excited. Once again, I got my brother, my man, 50 Grizzle, all the way from Philly slash Jersey, Northeast
Slash Jersey.
corridor slash Jersey. Robin Williams. What's up, good brother?
What's up, bro? What's up,
Ain't
bro? Thank
nothing,
you for having me
man.
back, sir.
Ain't no thing. Dude, you said what's up like we ain't been sitting on here talking for the last hour and a half. That's the funniest
Well, I
part.
was supposed to bring the professionalism with it. I mean, yeah, what's up again?
Yeah, what's up again, man? Yeah, listen. So we wanted to talk about a topic, and just to kind of jump right in. I started this group, this reimagining worship idea, to say like, hey, listen. Um, there was a way that we used to do things. There was a culture. There was systems that were in place with all of this stuff as it pertains to worship. But like, listen, we are we're post now. Let's be honest here. We are still in kind of in the midst of a pandemic, but on the
Yeah,
back of COVID. We are post 20, 2019, 2020, with George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery.
yeah,
Like, yo, we're so culturally we're somewhere,
yeah. Different.
politically we're somewhere. A lot of people are doing this deconstruction of their faith and walking away from the church piece.
Yeah.
We are in a space that I know personally of large churches that were doing 4 or 5 thousand people a Sunday now post pandemic or on this side of the pandemic are doing 50, 60 people per service with 1,000 room
Mm-hmm.
auditorium. Like, so there's a lot of things that we are
Mm,
now moving into. And the joy is we can, this is the hard work of, but the fun work of even just some leadership stuff of like, yo, you have to
yeah.
think about where we are, and that's what the concept of reimagining. Let's reimagine what worship can look like in our local churches.
Mm-hmm.
Let's reimagine what all of the topics as it pertains to worship can look like. And today, we want to talk about like, yeah, let's look at reimagining recruiting volunteers. Like
Yes, sir.
the way that we used to do it, we can no longer do
Ain't
it
gonna
that
not
way.
gonna do it. Yes,
And I
sir.
know that we all have unique ways that we do things, but I wanted to bring Rob on just because our last conversation was robust, and but he also has some creative ways. But we just wanted to talk today about some intentional, reimagined ways to be able to recruit volunteers, man. So like, let's
Yes,
pinball
sir.
back and forth with concepts and ideas. But man, what is one of your strategies, bro?
Well, first of all, it's encouraging people to like your hair length, bro. It's really
Oh
getting
man,
crazy.
yay!
It's getting crazy. I'm a little jealous. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little jealous.
Fruits and berries,
But
man.
fruits and berries. But yeah, man, recruiting right now. I mean, that's technically I'm living at. I have three teams that I manage: worship, through song, video, photography, the creative team, which manages a lot of the media, marketing, and social media, and yeah, anything tech, right? So really, one of the things I've been actually talking with my pastor about recently, which is kind of like we've been kind of come up with this way of like there's some people who are really outgoing individuals and there's some people who are just really like administratively strong, right? And so we've been talking about pairing up people who are really outgoing and go-getters with people who are administratively strong that can create a system. I mean, that's my marriage. My wife is a systems person, organized, introvert, you know what I'm saying, that has extroverted moments, especially when she's doing announcement videos. And then, but I'm the in your face, like go into your refrigerator, grab something to drink. You didn't tell me it was okay kind of guy, right? So, I think in reference to building teams, and I'll start with right now on my creative team, there were some people that kind of like we reached out. We have something called open house, and they reached out and said, hey, this might be something I'm interested in, and we do like a preliminary process of just kind of getting to know them and then have them sit in our meetings. But in it, I'm trying to pull out unique skill sets that they might have. So, one young lady on our team, she's a craftsman, right? She's a craftsman. She likes DIY projects, trying stuff. So, in my mind, I went, oh, snap. She might be somebody that would love to watch YouTube and learn how to do Adobe After Effects, right?
Mm.
Because she likes crafts. She likes putting together stuff. She likes it done. I'm like, yo, what's your Instagram look like? I look at her Instagram and she's active. She's active on her Instagram. Okay, cool. Hey, have you ever thought about playing around with photography and video? Hey, that'd be, yeah. You know what I'm saying? I actually have. I was like, well, I'm thinking of not just taking pictures or recording it, but the editing process, because I see you are navigating these skills of crafts and things like that. So what I'm doing is trying to take what they're practically good at and then try to see where that naturally fits in my program. Another guy, another guy is a tech guy, right? He's very tedious on details. So when I say tech guy, he's a computer guy, not like a tech guy like does sound, all that kind of stuff. So I say to him, I say, hey man, he's telling me all his details, like, Rob, where can I serve? I'm like, I got 1,000 places. And he'll say, tell me a little bit about what you do for work. And he pretty much builds the softwares that tell computers to do stuff so humans can't do it or whatever. And so, but he's very tedious. He has a little fidget. He has these things. And so I asked him, I said, man, how are you like, are you big on like wire management? And he's like, oh man, wires have to be in a particular place. They have to go a certain way. I'm like, he needs to be on my setup and breakdown team of my sound, right? Because he's going to make sure that all my wires, especially because we're setting a breakdown, is going to plug in where it's going to be. There's not going to be any bends in the wires. So I start trying to look at people's practical skill sets. One more
Yeah,
guy,
yeah, go, yeah. Go ahead, go ahead,
one
go
more
ahead.
guy, one more guy, is a singer, right? He's a singer, but because he's a singer, and because of the pandemic at the time, he was putting together like videos and stuff like that, and started getting into the mixing aspect of vocals. So I said to him, I said, bro, I would love to have you sing, but what I need to you to be is on sound. And I said, and because you're paying attention to this. And so what I did was I got him all kind of unique like software stuff that can help him mix. And I put him around people who are mixing albums. And I started, I was like, hey, let me find you, go to this place, go to that place. The boy in between services, bro, is listening to the first mix that he did for the first live and tweaking for the second live, like without me having to tell that. But I'm looking at different places like people are gifted at because God has given us so many gifts and talents,
Yeah.
like where you can actually play about it. It's like, hey, I don't need you to sing right now, even though I want you to. I need you to do sound. And now he's my lead sound person.
Yeah, so like, yo, what I hear you saying is like watching what people are naturally passionate about. Like
Correct.
they're like people naturally want to do things. They have natural proclivities. They're like there are and finding out how and where they fit into unique spaces because
Correct.
not everyone needs to be a singer. We don't need 50 singers. Like yo,
My stage ain't big enough. My stage ain't big enough for a choir.
yeah, you know what I mean. We don't need an influx of, musicians, but we need people. Especially one of the things you mentioned was even the setup and tear down piece. That is viewed as a grunt work type role. Like yeah, just we pick things up and put things down, or take things out the trailer and plug things in. No, like there's if you put the XLR next to the power cable, there's gonna be an issue, and y'all gonna be confused of why you hear a buzz in your mix. Like having someone that is intentionally thinking about some of these things, but seeing where people's strong suits are. Because here's the real thing: a lot of people in those tech worlds, computer engineering, they have the most difficult time, or the church has the most difficult time of finding a place for them to go. And there are, as it pertains to worship spaces, there are plenty of spaces
Yes, sir.
that they're needed and can be useful. Another thing that I wanted to point out was I think that as it pertains to recruiting or reimagining recruiting, uh, the let's get through Sunday culture is we're not there anymore. Like yo, we go to
Like Jay Z
rehearsal.
said, deaf to autotune, deaf to that, bro.
Yo, depth to that, bro. Real talk, like, yeah, like rehearsals for Sunday. Like, you know what I mean, like, we play to get through a Sunday service. We learn the chords so we can play the song to get through the service. Like, whether it be a gig, because that's a whole nother topic. If we view it as a gig or what, like, yo, just trying to get through it. So one of the things that we're starting over here is like, yo, we're not just doing rehearsals, like bump rehearsals for rehearsals sake, because they're not fun. They're not fun like that. I mean, we don't have the time to be creative because especially as leaders, are trying to be cautious about everyone else's time. Don't want to burn folk out and all the rest of it. So
Yeah.
now we're trying to get in and out. Limited time for creativity, limited time for connection, limited time for community, and then getting to Sunday and just trying to run through it. So one of the things that we're starting to hear is like, yo, let's do like almost like how we used to do back in like sheds, like expos where we kind of come around,
Mm.
get together, we groove, we kind of rock. And even if it's not for Sunday, like we have one coming up on Saturday.
Dope.
And everyone that's coming on Saturday to get me here, no, none of them are rocking on Sunday. You know what I mean? But it's just for the space of building, of development, and really just enjoying that time of worship and creativity and all that kind of stuff.
Well, no, that's a good point because one of the things I stole this from my boy Derek from the Block Church, but I was going to do this with the creatives, where we're going to have like something called artist development, right? And artist development is usually in the music term is like taking somebody who has a little bit of talent that you think is talented but can hit all these boxes in reference to being an artist. So I thought it'd be good for us as churches to do artist development in the capacity of the area ministry. So my bass player is going to be having a workshop, and he's going to talk about how he learns material and how he studies material and some of the exercise that he does as a bass player. There's about 3 people in my church that want to play bass. Excuse me. And so they're like, "Hey, Rob, the music's tedious." But I said, "Well, come to this workshop. We're going to set it up. Come to this workshop." They're like, "Oh, you're going to do that?" Now it's kind of like reimagining what this thing can look like for them, and it's bringing culture together and relationship, because I think that's very much important in reference to being able to ask people to do things that they normally wouldn't do is relationship, right? So the environment that you're talking about, having those sheds, having those things is important. Even in right now, like I have 2 vocal professors at my school.
Wait, real quick before you move, I want to comment on that. What's the name on that bass
My bad.
workshop, bro? Listen, and to even take it a step further, for those who might be listening that have someone, open it up and make it an event that y'all
Yes.
host as a church. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we got this person, he's doing a bass expo. Because the regular, come check me out on Sunday morning or come visit a church Sunday morning, we
No one
off
does that
that,
anymore.
baby. We off that. So
Nobody's
like
coming to
opening
church.
those doors, like, listen, we doing this bass expo. You know what I mean? And then if it were to grow, again, we're just dreaming here. Like, have a couple vendors there that, for strings, like little, like, so there's space to be creative in that. But go ahead.
Church has to get back to creating an environment for people to develop. Like we have to get back to a space like was talking to a creative director, and it was like, I have a videographer who's been with me for 5 years that just started a business. Like we have to stop seeing volunteering and service as just a thing to get us through Sunday, as much as this can change the trajectory of my family. This can change the trajectory for somebody else, and the opportunity to share the gospel. Because the way I steward my gift and my talent, that I just start picking up this camera, right? Picking up this camera and like just doing work was just going to be for Sunday morning. The Lord gave me a space where I can actually have more time with my family. I can actually start a business now. And then when I go and deal with these people, I'm dealing with them in a way that God had ordained me to build relationships and work, right? I'm a man of integrity. I'm a man of consistency. My work is done well. Like now I'm walking out the gospel in a practical way because the church gave me a foundation to like literally grow and learn and make my mistakes.
Bro, I literally posted about that yesterday. In a post about doing the paces, and it was about Jamie Foxx. And one of the things that he did, he was on a talk show, and he mentioned that he was Jamie Foxx. I love Jamie Foxx as a singer.
He's my favorite. He's my favorite entertainer. Period.
Bro. Period. So he was trying to really kind of get into the music scene and things like that, and was trying different ways to hop on the scene. And he had just filmed Ray Charles, a movie. He just recorded a movie.
One of the best movies of all time to be exit.
Yes. He was asleep. 3 o'clock in the morning, got a phone call from a friend of his, like, "Yo, come down to the studio. Yo, Kanye got a song. I think it'd be dope if you got on it." You get down to the studio, and he was like, "Yo, you got to get Fox on this song." So he goes in the booth. Mind you, he's just had this Ray Charles movie in his head, and then she give me money when I'm in need. And in that
Sing,
Ray
sir.
Charles
Sing, sir.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Hey, you see me, Doc. but him prepping for a movie help prepare him to be able to quickly come up with a dope, catchy hook in the booth on the drop of a dime at 3 o'clock in the morning. So, yo, go through the paces, things that you're doing, that you're being asked to do, that you're being taxed to do, that jokers are begging you to do. If you're in that volunteer space, yo, go through the paces. Enjoy that time, and then find out where you can grow and develop from there. Because, bro, I am right with you. I ain't know a
Yeah.
doggone thing about video editing before COVID, but had to based on the season and the time in the life. Now, bro, hey, listen, shameless plug, teachinsolutions.com. You're looking for a graphic
Yes,
design
sir.
artist and all that, video, website design. Hey, holla at me.
Hey,
But yeah,
yes, sir. But no, I think that's majorly important, and I think also we have to get out of this mindset of I'm just a musician. Like
yeah,
God has created us for so much more, right? Like I'm like I was just talking to one of my musicians the other day. Is that we get so lost in our gift being our end all be all of relationship with the Lord, and it's like that's not true at all. And so I think we see ourselves through our crafts more than we see ourselves that God has made us in His image. God is able to manage multiple things. Like, so being made in His image for me is like I see it in the perspective of like, oh, God, you gave me freedom to be able to navigate and multitask in different areas. So like the music stuff created a door for me. The way I attacked percussion and attacked musical directing created space for me to grow in other areas. So I started building relationships with designers, and I started talking to graphic designers and understanding how they think. I started producing, right? I started producing because one of my friends, the producers, didn't take them serious at the time, and they were like, "Yo, I got to finish this album." And because of I'm used to the music and whatever, I'm also like, "Yo, your music got to match your visuals." I didn't know I was being cultivated into a creative director,
yeah,
right? And so now, like, and I tell this to, and I think I've mentioned this before, like, you can't be, I'm not expendable. I could do, like, if you take me off playing percussions, doing music, I can go behind the camera. I can go in front, you know what I'm saying? I can go in front of the camera and host and create, you know what I'm saying, create all these unique things. And so I think it's important that we see these opportunities of places to grow. So I'm like, yo, create spaces for your videographers to get some test stuff going on. Like one of my guys in my church, he's like, I'm trying to get better at coloring. Okay, cool. Here's a video, color that. Here's a video, color that. You know what I'm saying? You got to look at what they're naturally trying to do. And then also you got to have spend some time in prayer. I think any leader has to ask the Lord, what are you doing? And you taught me this about relationship building. You said, like, grab some food, you know what I'm saying, for these folks, bring them to a Saturday. You said you get a plate for like $3.50 of breakfast food, a couple
that's it.
platters, bring them to your house, you know, and then hang out, get to know them, and then reshare the vision. I took it a step further. Now it's called vocal workshop. This vocal workshop is sped up in 30 minutes of like fellowship time and just eating. Then after that, what happens next is I'll talk about some of the things that we've been learning as a church and where we've been growing. I'll play recordings of certain stuff. I've been conditioning my team to say, hey, hearing yourself back is not bad. Hearing yourself back is not bad. Now I have two vocal coaches at my church who don't want to sing on Sunday morning, but they teach at Rowan University and another university, and they give vocal coaching lessons. Now they're a part of my monthly vocal workshop. And now my singers are getting trained in rehearsal etiquette. They're getting trained in how to protect your voice, getting trained in warm ups and what to eat and steam showers and all this other stuff for the next year. Excuse me. So now what we are doing is not just giving them tools to be able to sing on Sunday, but skill sets that now when they sing in wedding bands or they go in places, they know how to prepare. Man, we have to get back to giving. So we have to get back to giving up things so
Yeah,
that people can serve. And then also tell them, it's like, yo, it's a, like, if you really want to be a singer, you really want to be a musician, these people I'm putting you around, or a place I'm creating for you to have space with to learn from, we can't take their time for granted. And if you're going to take their time for granted, this might not be the ministry for you. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I think we have to start establishing no boundaries and stop getting to a space where we feel like we need everybody.
yeah, yeah. Listen, you're not gonna know what your people like and what they want if you don't build relationships with them, and they're not gonna grow and develop if you don't intentionally spend time to pour into them and create spaces for them to be able to grow and try new things.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third thing that I heard you say was, maybe you didn't say this, but I'm gonna say this because of what you did say. Help them find other ways to be able to utilize those gifts outside of Sunday morning. Like help, like
Yes.
put them in touch with, like if they're trying to grow in their vocals, put them in touch with a wedding band. Yeah, I mean, like let them try out for, yeah, I mean, other spaces and other places to be able to, one, get some extra bread on the side, and two, grow, develop that gift, and the three, it's there. You are showing them that you care about them holistically, about this specific gift or this area.
Can I jump in on that?
Yeah,
What you
yeah.
just said, because what you just said made me think about this. The leader needs to see themselves as a connector.
Yeah,
So your relationship building is not for you as much as it is for others.
that's good, Rob. That's
Like
good, man. And
people
you do
have
that
to
well, by the
understand
way.
it.
You do
Oh,
that
praise
well.
God.
You are you are uh one of the things that I told Ern early on. I was like, yo, I said Rob got more relationships than a little bit. Like, yo, and jokers love Rob. Jokers want to be around Rob. I said, yo, this is a sidebar. Sorry, this is me and Rob, y'all. This ain't gonna do with y'all. But I was like, yo,
Thank
the
you, bro.
church, give me the church and the band. All the that's the last thing I'm worried about, because Rob got more relationships in a little bit. But neither here nor there. Go ahead.
But I'm just
But
saying
yeah,
is thank you for that. But I think we have to see ourselves as connectors, and
good
so
man.
because like when you become a leader, it's less about you being able to do what you're best at as much as it is about cultivating the people around you. If you always are cultivating the individuals around you and pushing them to do more and see more and try more, like there always will be space for you to lead because you're others focus versus you focus, right? And so the reality is like my drummer was here last last night. Yeah, last night till 10 o'clock at night, learning how to set up sessions for Logic with tracks
Mm,
and how to cut and edit. And he's had friends who's in the industry that was like, oh man, I'll give you some time. Didn't give him no time. He came to my house and now he's able to run tracks. So it's like I set a vision for him. Hey, bro, you're not going to run tracks this Friday, but you'll run tracks this particular Sunday. Now that we have the session laid out for that, right? Now, you know what I'm saying? I'm
yeah.
looking to you to run it. So I'm like, hey, where are we going? Hey, and I'm giving them little nuances. Now that you've sat down and talked with me about it, who's leading worship that Sunday? Figure out how many times they want to go to this part. I'm teaching him how to MD so that in 6 months, when Rob goes on break, he's got repetition. We got to be thinking about that.
But you said something, and you mentioned this a little bit earlier too. As leaders, we need to be well versed enough in a little bit of everything in every single department,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
to enough to be able to show someone the basics of the one-on-one. You need
Or
to be
sit
able
with
to
them
do
and learn it together. Or sit there and
exactly,
learn it with them.
because if someone, same give me with photography, with videography, like, you be good enough to be able to track someone that does it well. Like, yo, I like the energy you putting behind it, but I can take you further. But you got to be able to have enough in the tank. Another thing, just so we get push on. If you need paint,
Yeah, we got to push
if you need paint, where do you go? You go to Home Depot.
to the.
If
Yes,
you
sir.
need fish or groceries, you go to the grocery
Supermarket.
store.
Yeah.
If you need musicians, where do you go? Where musicians go? To the
Right,
musician
sir.
store. Guitar Center. Well, Jersey, y'all got Sam's Club. Not what? Sam
Sam's
Ash. But yo, another super practical way to be able to creatively recruit volunteers and recruit people to be on your squad is to go where they are and to develop relationships. I remember when I was in Jersey, when I was in Camden, I made it a practice once a week that I would go to Guitar Center and Sam Ash and sit down for 4 hours. I would just be there. I mean, one, I developed a relationship with the staff and employees. So when I walked in, it was love. You know what I mean? I would get phone calls when when they were running low on stuff, get discounts, all the rest of that kind of stuff. I would learn. I would essentially work from there. I would work on my arrangements from. Now things are changing now, but I would work on my arrangements from Guitar Center, like on the keyboards there. And just be rocking with, and people will come in, be twiddling around. And you kind of just stand over their shoulder, like, oh, hey, you.
How emotional were you when you were working on arrangements on like a Juno or like a special board, and then you got to go back home and pay this curves well?
It was back then. It was the Phantoms, the Rolling Phantoms when they was popping, But like, yo, I've been able to have a few bands over the years. and I'm telling you, I'm serious about this. Half the bands were the relationships were started from conversations at Guitar Center. I mean,
Here's a new
yeah,
practical way, Pastor. Here's
yeah.
another practical way they could do that now. Get on Instagram, follow some people, right?
That was my next
Like,
bullet point. Yes, sir. Yes,
oh,
sir. That
like press
we on
some
the same
likes,
page.
right? Throw some fire emojis, right? But here's the other thing too. Like, put it in your schedule because um put it in your schedule to attend an event, based on your COVID concerns or whatever. But I'm saying to attend an event that is local in your area. That
Yeah,
you can go sit there and you don't have to sip liquor. You can literally go get it like a Shirley Temple, like
yeah,
what I'm saying, and some fries,
yeah.
and sit there and attend the event.
Where the liquor come from,
And
bro? Where the liquor come from?
well,
How
because
did
some
you
of
even get
us,
there?
well, that's
How you took
because cats
beeline
go to the
straight
bar,
there.
because cats go to the bar and the musicians be at the bar. Like, come on, let's just keep
I'm playing.
winding.
I'm playing.
All right. So, I just want to give context for the people that was like, oh, I feel like I got to drink. You don't have to drink. But no judgment for me. But in general, I would say that's like put it in your schedule. And one more thing, because I have to put this piece in. When you're looking at these places, you might have young musicians, you might have old musicians, but also make sure that you're versed in the gospel. And not just like telling people, oh, this is how Jesus died, but how to express gospel like love towards them. Because those people are going to need development. Those people are going to need some growth, right? You know what I'm saying? There are certain things that the church has represented for many, many years that they feel different about you, but they still know that you're a part of this organization, this entity. And so if you have more time of understanding how to communicate the gospel in a loving way, how to be relational in those pieces, when you sit down and you're challenging them about their lifestyle, you can have more conversations with your pastor about, hey, this is what we're doing. Let's do this. A little bit younger in the faith. There's some areas that they need to grow in. But I'm taking on that relationship to build with them.
Yeah,
That helps the pastor have some peace, right? Because it's like, oh, I need them to have this certain kind of thought process. And it was like, what happened to the process of us going from spiritual infancy to spiritual maturity? Like we're
yeah.
like, and we have to have that same kind of hunger when it comes to those musicians.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. One of the last ones I wanted to drop in here was, and this has been a topic that's been coming up a lot for me, not just from my church, but also even from my family, from my marriage. What do you have now that you can leverage? What do you have? You know what I mean? Like we always, and had a deep conversation about this yesterday. But like, what do you have? What does the Lord bless you with
That's a
now
good
that
question.
you can leverage? What can you leverage? For us, we just got this space. It was like, yo, how can you maximize that space? Uh, and as it pertains to this, I'm like, yo, one of the things I'm planning for the spring is to do an open mic night. You know what I mean? I know I know that's old, but
Well, let me know. We coming. I'm bringing my team. We coming.
word, man, like yo, just to kind of rock and just be in the space and to enjoy music and creativity. Yo, like we still like that. You know what I mean? We still love music and enjoy music, and I don't think that we've created enough spaces for people to kind of come hang out with us with no strings. Like that be the thing. Like, yo, if I come in the door, I gotta write my name down and then put my phone number, and then I get added to this data, to this long list of emails that you about to text me every 3-4 days to try to come give me the job. Hey, look, you know what? I kind of want to just rock and then get to know you. But the truth is, I want you to get to know me. I want you to get to know that, like, yo, like there are pastors or there are churches that are like, yo, that genuinely care about you, your situation, your soul, yeah, I mean, your mental health, you know what I mean? And it's not just about plugging in, like I said, it's not just about plugging in people for Sunday morning. I'm about to say this. Am I gonna say this? Yes, I'm gonna say this. I'm about sick and tired.
I
of
say
Sunday
it.
morning. I'm about sick and tired of Sunday morning. I'm about sick and tired of it because I'm like, yo, it's making more and more barriers for people. I can give a dog on. I'll give a dog on about Sunday morning. It's about reaching actual humans beings, showing the love of Jesus, sharing the gospel with them, for them to move from spiritual death to spiritual life. Period. About like whatever a barrier is, I'm willing to put it down. Period. Like and
That's what our 21 day. That's what our 21 days of prayer is doing. Right, our 21 days of prayer is literally creating space in our Zoom where people can get to know each other. Now, from a technical standpoint, I would love to have set up a little environment, had a nice little guest worship leader come in, and we have all that stuff pop off. But God has been really building relationship through it. Now, I will say that the I think people have to reverse their mindset of how they see Sunday morning too. Sunday morning is a tool to build a relationship.
Yeah.
They
Yep.
have to see Sunday morning as a tool to build a relationship. And then when you said leverage, right? When you said leverage, the biggest thing for me in my life that I think goes well is my marriage,
Yeah.
right? That's a leverage for me because people don't see couples be authentically them, right? You just see the situation where the pastor and Megan Good just like separated, right? You see that in culture.
Yeah.
And however you feel about it, whatever. But in general, some people are let down by that scenario because they
Facts.
don't see healthy marriages, right? So what my wife and I do is we gain relationship with people through how we build and who we are personality wise. And I leverage that to build and dig into people's life and get to know them. So, and then, like, oh, and so it helps me understand who they are. So when we're trying to figure out how to serve them, we know. And I think, like you said, leveraging what you have. Right now, I have access to people who do this in mainstream world. So I'm like, hey, can y'all come sit down in my church and talk about it? Like, put people in places. I'm leveraging everything I have. My marriage is my key leveraging piece because people see my wife respond to me in ways that she'd be like, Rob, I ain't dealing with you. Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't doing this with you today. And I'd be like, I ain't doing this with you, your mom. And somebody be like, what? Like, y'all said that? Like, some dude be like, yo, I couldn't say that to my wife. I said, well, that's a different situation. But now we're talking about marriage dynamics.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In the middle of relationship. So leveraging, like you said, leveraging everything that you have around your family, your kids. I know it sounds somewhat opportunistic, but no, I think the Lord utilizes all that stuff for his glory.
That's good, man. That's good. Yo, we're gonna go and land the plane on that one. Listen, thank you once again for rocking out with us, Rob. Appreciate
Yes,
you,
sir.
you know what I mean? We got a couple more in the talk. Yeah,
We
man.
got a couple more to
Again,
lose.
we gotta talk through. But tell the people where they can find you on social medias, YouTube's website.
Yes. Yes. My name is Robin Keith Jr. on Instagram. You can actually go hit the link tree and you can actually go watch my digital concert that we did over
That
the
was phenomenal,
holidays.
by the way.
Thank you, bro. You watch and I
I
appreciate
did.
that, man.
I did. I was there.
Um, it was fun. It's something I wanted to do, but you guys can check that out. Still working on new material. I just arranged some stuff I'm gonna share with Pastor Trevor in a little bit, but I just arranged some new stuff. Man, and so you can check me out there, and then you can check me out on Sundays at Accelerate Church. Right here in right there in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, where I'll be moving by the Lord's grace in some moment. But
Good.
every Sunday you can find me in church serving, and I love being a part of the church. I love being the church. So yeah, I get that. And on my wife's Instagram because she only posts about me, which makes me weird, but it's another thing. And yeah, you can find me in LA. Sorry.
Alright. Yo, thanks for rocking with us. Don't forget you can slide over to Facebook, hop in our Reimagining Worship group where we
Yes,
are
sir.
having regular, consistent conversations about reimagining worship. Until next time.